Welcome everybody to our YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to discuss real estate investing for beginners. Please subscribe to the channel because we'll be going through in-depth takes and analysis about the real estate market. And I'll say there are three key components or three key ways you can get into real estate investing. The first of which is the fix and flip, meaning you can buy a house. Most people try to buy like foreclosed homes or homes that are run down, older homes, fix it up and sell it immediately. That's a good way to get into real estate investing. It's a quick turnover. Pros and cons of that, I'll say some of the pros with that is you don't hang on to the property for too long. So you can get your money out and you can generate quick income. So for instance, you can buy a home for $300,000. You put about $20,000 in it, and then you can sell it for about $375,000 based on when the appraiser looks at the before and after. Like if the house is old, some paint jobs can touch it up, changing the locks, if they got like old brass locks, you put like black locks on them, changing the ceiling fans, changing like the faucets, just some minor fixes. Some of the cons about fix and flips are, I'll say, when you buy a home that's foreclosed, sometimes the water's not running, electricity is not there, so you don't get to get a good inspection done, and you may not see everything that needs to get done until after you get into it. So sometimes you may think, okay, this is a quick fix. I just need $10,000 or $15,000 to renovate this property. Once you start working on the property, you start discovering things that are going to cost you a whole lot more, and you may barely break even, right? Another con would be just the market right now. Houses are high. Everybody's anticipating a crash. If you get into a property at a very high price and then the prices crash 30%, you are out of luck, But fix and flipping is very lucrative if you can get really good deals. So my advice to you is research. Spend time looking up different properties, a lot of properties, the market condition in that area. But I know a bunch of people, know somebody in Louisiana doing fix and flipping. I know about 3 or 4 in DC that have done very well just by buying old homes, gutting it out, putting new materials in there and selling it for a very good price. All right. The second way of getting into real estate investing is just being a landlord. And the easy way you can get into this, maybe what I'll do is I'll make separate videos to explain each one of these ones. This is just like a summary. So once again, try to subscribe because I'll do some in-depth into each one of these points. You buy the home. There's this thing called house hacking. House hacking is where you live in the home and rent a piece of it, right? So let's say you get a duplex, which is like 2 houses attached in one. You live in one, you sell the other. I've seen some couples, I've seen some people like buy a home that's not a duplex, but it has a pretty big basement, and they take that basement and make an apartment unit out of the basement, and they live in the basement, and rented the rooms upstairs. So let's say the house has 4 bedrooms upstairs and a basement. They make that basement into like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment where the landlord gets to live, and then they rent those 4 bedrooms upstairs. So let's say if your mortgage is about $2,000 and you rent each room for 6, 12, 18, 24, 2,400. So you got your tenants up there paying your mortgage. All right. The pros about this way of investing, being a landlord, is, especially if you want to do house hacking to begin with, if you don't have enough capital to go buy a house and rent it completely while you live in another house, you can do house hacking, meaning you can live in the house and rent a piece of it. The good thing there is you can qualify for an FHA loan where, your down payment is only going to be 3%. If you're not living in the house, then you don't qualify for an FHA loan. Your down payment would be 20%. Substantial difference. That's the difference between putting $11,000 down to $90,000 down. It's a huge difference, right? The median home cost in the state that I live in, I looked it up, is now $419,000. So imagine having to put down 20% of $419,000 as opposed to putting down 3% of that, right? So the pros about getting into real estate investing as a landlord and doing house hacking is you can use the FHA strategy to live in the property and rent it out and get in a property at a lower down payment. Some of the cons in that is just keeping tenants, right? You never know what you're going to get with tenants. You can do credit checks, you can do background checks, but until that person moves in and how they treat your home, you never know. So evicting people, they're just all kind of nightmare stories, right? Just tenants that vandalize your property, and you end up having to be a maintenance man as well, until you grow your portfolio to where you can hire a company to manage that rental. That's why a lot of people do Airbnbs, because they don't want to deal with the hassle of renovating or evicting tenants and stuff like that. But those are just some of the cons, like renovation, eviction, late rent, just constant hassle with the tenants. You got to deal with tenants all the time, right? Also, the money you make initially is not that great. So as I mentioned in my example, if your mortgage is $2,000 and you get $2,400, you're only making $400 a month off a house worth $400 and something thousand, which is not a whole lot, but it does bring in some kind of cash flow, small amount of cash flow. But the pro in investing and holding a property and renting it is, over time, your mortgage gets paid down, your equity grows. Even if the market crashes right now, if you plan on holding that home for over 10, 15 years, eventually house prices are just going to appreciate, just based on inflation and just the dollar not being worth what it's worth now in the future, or the dollar today isn't as valuable as the dollar 10 years ago. So house prices are just naturally going to go up eventually. So in the long run, it's a way better way. I don't know if I said that properly. It's a much better way, I should say, to generate huge amounts of money, right? But that's a long-term strategy. So if you're looking to get some quick money, then look towards the fix and flip. right? If you have $100,000 or 50 grand and you want to get into real estate investing, fixing and flipping is a more faster way of generating income. But the long-term money is by holding that property. Reason being, when you hold a property and you sell it 2 years past the time of purchasing it and it was your primary residence, even if it wasn't your primary residence, once you hold it for over a certain amount of years, Uncle Sam doesn't tax you at a high rate, a capital gains tax. You get to evade that, so you get huge tax breaks. And also you can claim all the renovations you did to the property if you kept your receipts, right? So one, you're getting equity on the home by simply paying off your mortgage. Two, you're getting appreciation on the home. So if you bought the home for $419,000, by the time you want to sell it a few years down the line, it's maybe $500,000, you know? So you're making about $81,000 just off on top of whatever it was, plus the equity that you have paid off. But then check this out. You're not going to be taxed at a high tax rate, a capital gains tax, you know? Fix and flip guys pay a higher tax because they buy the house and sell it. It's a short-term investment. Short-term investments get taxed higher than long-term investments, right? And the last one I want to talk about, I think this video is going on a bit too long, but the last one I want to talk about that you can get into for cheap, even $500, $30, $100, is by buying into realty investment companies. You just buy their stocks online. One that I invest in is but you got a whole bunch of them online, right? These are real estate mega companies that some of them rent out office buildings, some of them rent out warehouses, some of them rent out apartment complexes. So they do all the management hassle-free, all the management, all everything, and they just kick you a dividend on a monthly basis. So every month you're going to get a dividend increase. That's the pro about that. The pro is you don't have to worry about fixing it. You don't have to worry about tenants. You don't have to worry about property appreciation or depreciation values. None of that. You just put your money in the stock market and let your money make dividend, and then your dividend stop making dividend, and that's compound interest. That's a whole nother topic. The con about this, though, the stock market can drop. It can really crash, you know? So everything is a give and take, but the cheapest one to get into is obviously the investment on like the stock market. You don't need a huge capital. You could get in that with $500. You can get in it with $100, right? The other two that I mentioned, you're gonna need credit. You're gonna need a good stable job or source of income. You're gonna need capital, so on and so forth. One more that I didn't mention is wholesaling. Reason why I'm not too well versed on it is something I'm looking into. Once I get all the details on wholesaling, I'll share it. But from my understanding is wholesaling is like, as an agent or a buyer, you're buying the home and selling it, you know, to somebody else without actually touching the home. So it's very easy, very fast is what I'm getting to see. But the only thing is you need to have buyers that are guaranteed. So pretty much you're buying and selling, but only dealing with paperwork, title deeds, rather than actual properties. I'll get more into wholesaling, and because I'm looking at getting into real estate investing, I've already purchased a property. I've already bought stocks in a real estate, like the that I mentioned company, real estate realty company. Looking at should I get another property and rent it out to tenants? Should I do a fix and flip with my current property? Should I do wholesaling? So I'm doing some more research on wholesaling, and once I make a move, I'll update you guys. Well, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. We got some more coming. Take care.
Hello again. Thank you for listening to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to drop the video a like and subscribe to us if you're new. Drop us a comment and let us know what you think.